Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another Possible to Be series on the Peanut Gamers channel. This was created for a rather specific purpose. Lemon, please elaborate.
Hello everyone. This series was about to be created for a specific reason. It was made to explain some things that I've never really myself understand, and I believe that most of you don't.
No, you don't. You don't believe that. I think you think our audience is rather knowledgeable about the things out in the gaming community.
Yeah, they may be knowledge about our community, but I'm not, so we're doing it anyway. So I was eyeballing that new game on Steam that was on early access, the Crypt of the Necro Dancer. It was quite a catchy game with quite some music that actually started to grow an interest on me. So I was like, whoa, I should do a review on that.
A peanut in a nutshell, not a full-on review, by the way.
A short one, yeah. But I've stumbled across some questions that I've had through the early access, beta games, all that sort of things, and I kind of wanted my friend Never to help me. So I've got some questions that he may hopefully answer.
Yeah, well, I'm not like the most knowledgeable person either on this subject. I have known everything through Reddit and some Steam conversations, through some podcasts I've watched. So everything I say is subject to change. Everything I say does not go for everyone. I am not like the person you should look to, but I will do anything I can to help explain the issue and make it easier for other people to understand that may not have an interest in this matter as much until now.
Yeah, about that. So my first question is, what's the difference between early access, beta and alpha version, and does the difference matter whatsoever?
Okay, to begin with, the alpha versions of games were supposedly not even going to come out. Alpha versions of games are the versions that the developers, and maybe some persons like really close to the developers, are supposed to test. The thing is that early access nowadays is basically an alpha version of the game. It's not finished enough to be called a beta, because, you know, betas are basically bug fixes. Betas are free too. However, early access nowadays is just an alpha version, a glorified alpha version, whereas you pay for an unfinished product. And the main thing is that the developer does not have any reason to actually finish the game.
So you basically stuff the people with food that becomes stale after a while, is that right?
Considering saying stale might not be the case, because some of those games are actually pretty good, and the main issue is that, one, you are playing a game that is not finished yet. That means that you kind of play a lesser version of the game that you bought for no good reason other than patience. You don't have the patience to wait to get the full experience. That means that you will probably get bored of the game buggy nature, and you probably give up on it. While it could be a waste, or it could be justified, like say Rust or DayZ, which have become stale after this long of them being out there.
I didn't know DayZ was still in beta. Wow,
Yeah, DayZ has been a mod, which then turned into a standalone version. It has been out for like quite a few years.
Oh, you're talking about the standalone version. Oh, okay, I get it. So, what's the worst thing that could happen is my second question.
Well, there are many examples. Well, not many, but there are quite a few examples what has happened. So, there's basically the example of Towns, which is the developer sells the number of copies that they want to. They make a quick buck and then quit on the game, like stop development, give up on it, and leave with all the money they've gathered. The other example I have is Space-Based DF9, which was like developed by Double Helix. Those guys did not finish the game. There were many features in the game that were promised on the early access page, however they were never delivered, and they just said, okay, we are releasing the game, development will stop, you can mod it, you can do whatever you want with it, we will have nothing to do with it other than stick for a while for bug fixes. So those are the main examples one may have about early access being horrible in any way towards the consumer.
So I'm just checking out the Steam gallery, and yeah, DayZ standalone version is still in early access. So that explains a lot.
Yeah, that's a thing. That has been a thing. And people actively support it. DayZ is still one of the top games of Steam at the moment. If I go over to Steam, I will see that one of the top sales is basically DayZ. It's basically Rust, games that are not out yet.
And I can see that the reviews are very positive. Okay.
If I take a look at the Steam store, I can see that DayZ is on the 3rd place of the sales and Rust is in the 5th place of the sales. And like other games that are actually better than that are on lower, like have been knocked down out the list.
So if a game seems promising, why not support the developers to make it faster?
Well, there's always the argument that people that go through early access do not have the money to actually like complete the game. So, you know, there's the sense that some people have on Kickstarter. Like, yeah, we don't quite have the money, so we need support. The difference in between Kickstarter and early access is, one, most Kickstarter games that got to their goals have released and have actually been pretty good. Considering Divinity Original Sin, Wasteland 2, Tex Murphy, A Tesla Experience, or whatever the hell that was, those were games that were pretty niche, one might say, especially like Tex Murphy, and they got out. Like, on early access, 3 out of 4 games have not yet been released, and most of them are like horrible. If you take a look at something like Prison Architect or Standbound, they are games with lots and lots of content, lots of good content, with lots of quality, and not complete messes. They are kind of worth your money. Kerbal Space Project as well, but all of the other games I would not recommend buying. This is like the main issue that I personally have with early access.
So is there a way to prevent it?
The main way and the main issue with early access is that the longer that people support early access.
So, is there any way to prevent those kind of things?
The longer that people, like developers, realize that this kind of method works out and people actually get money out of it, they will keep doing it. If people stopped supporting early access games, that would be great for me, because like developers would think twice before releasing an unfinished project that would go into early access. That would mean that we had more Steam games that were actually finished, that were actually worth our money, and the main way to prevent this is just inform other people about it, inform of the dangers that are accustomed to buying into early access. Information is basically the only advantage that a consumer has against a publisher that wants to sell every kind of bullshit that they come up with. Any other questions that you may have?
So I got a final question for you. What should I look for on the next game releases?
First things first, you have to be patient. Take a look at the studio. Take a look at what they've made. Take a look if you like the theme, if you like what you see in videos and gameplay trailers. Wait for reviews to come out. Reviewers tend to have early access copies, so they get to have an opinion and publish their reviews early. Also, do not, I beg you, do not trust every site that says review on it. A reviewer is a very specific person that does something for a reason. So it's either to get money from the company for promoting their game, which means you should not trust that reviewer, and if the information especially is not disclosed, which is basically the whole reason Gamergate was a thing this year, you should really not trust those people. However, what you should really trust are people that you've seen over and over again and do not prove your trust wrong. And in the long run, you should, if you're not sure if you want a game, just wait for a sale and get it in a sale, but please do not buy games if you haven't finished everything in your Steam library. You have so many unspent hours of games that you could just go ahead and play, wait for the games that release now to get cheaper, or get a discount on them, be on a sale or something, and then buy them. Your Steam library is somewhere where you have to finish about each game at least once, or played a reasonable amount of hours, if it's something like Minecraft or Skyrim. Anything else you might want to elaborate on?
No, that concludes it. Thank you for listening to my questions and thank you for answering them.
Oh, well, I answered them as best as I could. I'm not sure if I even helped at all.
So yeah, that basically covers it. That's the episode. We hope you like it. It's more like an informative episode of sorts. So yeah, see you guys next time.